the election pulse, only on WION. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Hello and welcome to the West Asia Post. I am Ghadi Francis, coming to you from Beirut, Lebanon, for a new episode of WION's weekly show where we bring you all things new from the world's most volatile region. The war has paused between Iran and the United States of America, but it is not a final scene. Things are yet to appear. With it, the war has already stopped in Lebanon, between Lebanon and Israel, but it is a 10-day ceasefire. Everything stands in the West Asia Post. Will the Hormuz Strait be open? Or will Iran get paid $270 billion for reparations? How will Lebanon and Israel deal with each other in the coming days? And on the other front, things are escalating about national citizenship in Kuwait. And in the West Bank, going to school puts you in danger. All this is lined up for you, but first, the headlines. Iran is moving fast beneath the ground while the United States is moving fast above it. While Iran works on restoring its underground missile tunnels, the United States is sending more troops to West Asia. Now the world is watching a fragile ceasefire, but will all this rearming take us to a new showdown? All this remains in question. We bring you the story.
The ceasefire in West Asia is not an end to hostilities. It is a deadly calm before the next volley. Satellite images reveal that Iran is quietly preparing for the next round of war. Iran is not just rebuilding, it is evolving. Iran has reportedly started a massive operation to restore its buried arsenal. Under the cover of the recent truce, heavy machinery is clearing ruins. The famed underground missile cities are being reanimated. Satellite imagery reveals tunnels damaged by airstrikes are now open. Buried launchers are being excavated and repositioned for strikes. Washington is deploying additional troops to the region immediately. US intelligence suggests a darker alliance is at play. Reports indicate China may be supplying advanced weaponry to Tehran. Beijing has issued a stern denial regarding these shipments, and the US says it is happy about it.
Well, as you know, President Trump has a very strong and direct relationship with President Xi. They communicated on that, and China has assured us that that indeed is not going to happen. In the spirit of the meeting they'll have next month.
While Beijing may be denying sending weapons to Tehran, it was also quietly helping Iranian forces. During the 40-day war, Iran was struck very hard. Thousands of airstrikes, missiles and heavy bombs. They were dropped on Iran by American and Israeli forces. Iranian military and political leadership was systematically eliminated. Its military bases were struck hard. But despite being battered and bruised, Iranian forces struck back hard. Iranian missiles and drones repeatedly breached the Israeli and American defenses and struck high-value targets. Questions were raised in Western intelligence circles that how was Iran managing such pinpoint attacks? Now it appears that Tehran had eyes in the skies. Reports say that Iran secretly acquired a Chinese spy satellite. It gave IRGC a decisive edge. Iran reportedly used Chinese satellite T-01B. The satellite relayed exact coordinates of US bases in real time to Iranian forces. This helped IRGC to navigate its missiles and drones. The satellite reportedly surveilled the Muwaffaq Salti Air Base in Jordan, locations close to the US 5th Fleet Naval Base in Bahrain's Manama and Erbil Airport in Iraq. This around the time of IRGC claimed attacks on facilities in those areas. However, the reality of the ground suggests Iran has other sources. The Islamic Republic is rearming faster than recovery estimates predicted. The strategic depth of Iran is proving to be invincible. The mountains of Iran remain the nation's greatest shield. While the West attempts to contain the threat, Tehran is securing its future from deep within the earth. The race to rearm is on by both Iran and the United States.
This is not another border skirmish. This is a decades-old conflict teetering between war and fragile peace and fragile ceasefires. I'm talking about Israel and Lebanon. There has been a ceasefire in place. It's a 10-day ceasefire, but the world is watching on edge. Will Lebanon and Israel escalate the war again? Or will this be a path for further de-escalation? We bring you the story.
Fire and diplomacy moving in parallel, but not in sync. After rare talks, President Donald Trump has announced that Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a 10-day ceasefire.
Get back, get back, get back, get back!
The ceasefire comes in the back of heavy fighting. Israel has hit Lebanon hard. The IDF confirms over 200 targets struck in just a day. Israeli military says it is targeting Hezbollah infrastructure across southern Lebanon. Israeli strike destroyed the last bridge linking southern Lebanon to the rest of the country. Lebanese officials say the strike shattered the bridge and left no possibility of repairing it. Israeli attacks have killed more than 2,000 people in Lebanon since March 2nd and forced more than 1.2 million from their homes.
This bridge was open. Everyone used to go and come across it normally. This bridge has now been hit, so now no one can go or come. This bridge must be open the soonest, because there are ambulances passing through, there is army, there are wounded people who need to be transferred from Jabal Amel and Hiram hospitals to areas there.
Mourners gathered in southern Lebanon's Nabatea for the funeral of Lebanese paramedic. Funeral attendees prayed and wept over his body before lowering him into the grave.
Despite his injury, he went and moved the car back, and he refused to leave any martyr or wounded person on the ground. What Mahdi did embodies the kind of heroism offered by Nabatieh paramedics and other organizations, whether from Al-Risala or Al-Haya.
Despite taking massive hits, Hezbollah has been responding with fire and fury. It claims to have hit multiple Israeli military targets, from Hammam's Hill to Kfar Giladi. Hezbollah is raining drones and rockets on northern Israel. This time, the Lebanese group has also unleashed heavy artillery fire. These images released by Hezbollah show M46 130mm artillery cannon firing at Kiryat Shmona in Israel. But here's the paradox. While missiles fly, efforts are underway to shape a ceasefire framework. A possible deal that could redraw security arrangements along the border. And yet, the core problem remains untouched. Hezbollah, its military power, its political influence, and its ability to act independently of the Lebanese state. Experts say, without addressing this, there is no real path to peace. What you're seeing is a region caught in a loop. Where every ceasefire is temporary, every escalation is expected, and every diplomatic breakthrough comes with a question mark.
Children going to school, only to be met with tear gas. This is a daily reality for the children in the occupied West Bank, Palestine. And while the world is looking at the Iranian war, a quieter reality is unfolding daily over there, where going to school or even childhood is unsafe. Take a look.
In the rolling hills of the occupied West Bank, a school day did not begin with books or bell rings, but with fear and chaos. Palestinian school children in the village of al-Khair, returning to class after more than 40 days, found their path blocked, not by distance, but by a barbed wire fence. This fence, erected overnight by Israeli settlers, cut off a road used by generations since 1945. In protest, the children did not turn back. They sat down, an open-air classroom, a silent sit-in, demanding one thing, the right to learn. But what followed was anything but silent. Witnesses say Israeli forces responded with tear gas and sound grenades, fired towards children. Videos show panic, screams echoing across the hills, students running, crying, choking on smoke.
Yesterday, students were prevented from reaching the school, first by settlers and then by the occupation army, which threw tear gas bombs at students and prevented them from reaching the school throughout the day.
First, this road has been here since 1945, and we are determined to keep it. But now the current proposal offered is an alternative road, about 2.5 kilometers further to reach the school. Not only this, but also to reach the school via the other route, you have to pass by the settlement Carmel and near the neighborhood of new settler caravans.
The Israeli military has said it dispersed an unusual gathering but has not clarified the use of force against minors. The numbers tell an even bigger story. More than 500,000 Israeli settlers now live in the West Bank, alongside nearly 3 million Palestinians in a territory under occupation since 1967. In just the past month, Israel's security cabinet approved 34 new settlements, not housing units but entire settlements, a move that could further alter realities on the ground. For many here, this is not an isolated incident. It is a pattern, a slow redrawing of access, land and life itself. As global powers negotiate ceasefires and strategies far away, the struggle remains much closer to home.
The war may have paused in Iran, but the power play has just begun. There is diplomacy on the surface, but beneath it, there is pressure. Now, two big questions loom. Will the world pay a toll to pass through the Hormuz Strait? Or will Iran get $270 billion in war reparations? Take a look.
Iran is not just negotiating, it is rewriting the terms. The country's foreign minister has been on a diplomatic blitz, speaking to Pakistan, Turkey, Spain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, and Russia. The message is clear. Tehran is building leverage before the next round of talks with Washington. And that leverage comes in two forms: money and control over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says the 40-day war has caused a staggering $270 billion in damage. Thousands of civilians killed, airports, aircraft, infrastructure, all hit. Now Tehran wants reparations, and it is putting that demand on the negotiating table. This is not just about compensation, because if Iran succeeds, it sets a precedent. War has a price tag. But here's where it gets more serious. Iran is also eyeing control over the world's most critical energy choke point, the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's oil passes through this narrow waterway. And now Iran is signaling it may start charging tolls on ships. Vessels could be forced to coordinate with Iran's Revolutionary Guards and pay for safe passage. Everything gets more expensive. Oil, shipping, food, global supply chains impacted, legal and global fallout. Under international law, specifically the law of the sea, straits like Hormuz are meant for transit passage. No blockades, no tolls. But then here's the catch. Neither Iran nor the United States fully recognizes these rules. The US has the most powerful military in the world, but in the narrow Strait of Hormuz, Iran holds the upper hand. The geography of the region gives Iran's asymmetric warfare an upper hand. This could turn into a global, legal and military standoff. Countries could push back, sanctions could expand. So what really is Iran doing? It is using the ceasefire not as a pause, but as a positioning window. On one side, a massive financial claim. On the other, control over a global energy artery. And in between, negotiations with the United States that could decide both.
Kuwait has redrawn the rules of belonging. In a legal overhaul, the rules of citizenship have now been changed. It changes who gets to call Kuwait home, redefining identity, loyalty, tightening control, and changing the legal status of many people in one of the region's most guarded national systems. We bring you the story.
This is not just a legal amendment. This is a restructuring of national identity. Kuwait has introduced far-reaching changes to its citizenship law. Changes that touch every aspect of nationality, from who qualifies to who loses it and who gets a second chance. The decree takes immediate effect, signaling a swift and decisive shift in how the state defines citizenship. The law now reinforces the state's authority over nationality decisions, clearly stating that citizenship is a sovereign matter, beyond the reach of judicial review. The revised framework redefines eligibility. Children born to a Kuwaiti father inside or outside the country are recognized as citizens by origin. But for those born into a naturalized family, the rules shift. They are classified as naturalized, not citizens by origin, with the option to choose their status upon reaching adulthood. New provisions address nationality rights in cases of marriage, divorce, and foreign citizenship, areas that have long been legally and socially sensitive. Power, however, is now more centralized than ever. The Minister of Interior has been granted expanded authority to decide nationality cases, including complex situations involving children born to Kuwaiti mothers. And in a sign of modernization, the state is turning to science. DNA testing and biometric identification will now play a role in resolving nationality disputes. But the law also comes with sharp teeth. Providing false information can lead up to 3 years in prison. And in cases of deliberate fraud, that penalty rises to 7 years, along with heavy fines. Older provisions, some dating back to the 1990s, have been scrapped as Kuwait moves to modernize and consolidate its legal framework.
God willing, we are heading to the south that is still standing, God willing.
That's all we have for you on this episode of the West Asia Post. I will see you next week with a brand new lineup, always bringing you the most recent updates, news, and ground reports from the world's most volatile region. I am Ghadi Francis signing off from Beirut, Lebanon. For more global news, keep on watching WION World is One.